Good afternoon and welcome to the Starboard Portal. I'm Jake Fish and I'll be your monitor today. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a unique opportunity to host the captain's meeting for the online Newport Bermuda race, which gets underway tomorrow on Friday, June 19th. Today we're joined by race chairs Jay Gowell and Kempe, sailonline.org marketing director Rob Neilson, and navigator-oceanographer Frank Bohlen. We will go over tips on how to start the race on Friday, what to expect for the weather, and how to finish as quickly as possible. There will be ample time for questions for the participating audience. And by the way, it's not too late to enter the race. So if you're watching and you've not registered, you can still participate. Go to bermudarace.com to learn more. And before we start, if you're enjoying the Starboard Portal, please support our efforts to build a community of active and engaged sailors by purchasing or renewing a U.S. Sailing membership. We have a lot of great content coming up on the schedule, and thanks to U.S. Sailing members, we're able to adapt and evolve to better serve sailors with content like this. Visit us at mem.ussailing.org to join or renew your U.S. Sailing membership today. All right, Jay, please take it away.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jake. And to everybody watching, welcome to the captain's meeting for the 2020 Newport Bermuda race. Obviously, this is a little different format than what we had planned to all meet in person at Jane Pickens Theater in Newport. But I hope the online race provides some fun and a chance to imagine that you are actually racing to one of our favorite places, Bermuda. Like the in real life, which you're all familiar with now, captain's meeting, I want to thank all the captains who signed up for the original Newport Bermuda race and their crews. I want to thank our regular sponsors, who I'll name in a moment, and our incredible team of volunteers who spent the last 2 years, nearly 2 years, planning and preparing and organizing the 52nd Thrash to the Onion Patch. So think about those sponsors: Bermuda Tourism, Gosling's Rum, Helly Hansen, North Sails, Safe Harbor Marinas, Newport Shipyard, McMichael Yacht Yards and Brokers, and Barton and Gray. They were our actual sponsors of the Bermuda race. I want to recognize our media coordinator, John Burnham, whose picture you see. He's done a great job promoting both the real Bermuda race and also the online race in a very, very short period of time. I also really want to give a shout out to Jake and to the entire team at U.S. Sailing for hosting our online captain's meeting on the Starboard Portal. I think the Starboard Portal has really filled a void in this strange COVID era where sailors can come together in ways that really we probably hadn't done before. And I think it's added a great dimension to the sailing experience and the sailing community. Finally, I want to thank the online race sponsors: Jeannot Yachts, Italia Yachts, X Yachts, Deller, McMichaels, and Rogers Yacht Sales. Again, in a very short period of time, we made a few inquiries, and these people stepped up immediately to help us with the costs of presenting this. So thank you to them. With that, I want to turn this over to Kempe, who's the vice chairman of the 2020 Newport Bermuda race and will be the chairman of the 2022 Newport Bermuda race, and has assumed the task of being chairman of the online race. So I'm going to turn it over to Kempe, who, by the way, is in London, and Rob Neilson is in Melbourne, Australia. So I'm sitting here in Rhode Island, and Frank is in Connecticut. So we're all joined virtually in real time. So Summers?
Thanks, Jay. Welcome, everybody. And thanks to Frank and Robert for joining us, and U.S. Sailing, thank you for hosting this. As Jay said, obviously this is a little bit different than we're used to, but yeah, let's see how we get along. it's been mentioned before that you can still sign up to do the online virtual race to Bermuda. And Rob has probably got a little bit more details on how many entries we currently have. And Rob, how is registrations on the Sail Online system coming so far?
Last time I had a look, there were about 340, but normally a whole pile jump in the few hours before the race. So I'm expecting over 400.
Great. Well, that'll be a record fleet sailing towards Bermuda, although definitely virtually, of course. But yeah, we want to thank you, Rob, for sailonline.org for your support and for accommodating the Newport to Bermuda race in such a short amount of time and pulling it all together over the numerous calls back and forth through many time zones that we've had. We're really looking forward tomorrow to 1700 UTC, where we'll all start trying to get towards the little speck of land in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for dark and stormy, hopefully. Rob, do you want to just take us through a little bit behind the scenes of like how one would go about registering online quickly?
If I can bring up Sail Online's homepage. This is our homepage. You'll see the races listed in the right-hand panel, and the next race to go off is the Newport Bermuda race in 20 hours and 53 minutes. To create an account, go to the banner here that says create your account. Click on that. That'll take you here. Enter your email address. Click the button, and then Sail Online will send you an email, a verification email. You click on the link in that email, and that will bring you back to the home page where you register your username, which will be your boat name, and create a password. And it's as simple as that. Once that's completed, you're off and running. You can then, the Newport Bermuda races, as it says down the bottom here, registrations are open. So once you've created your boat name, you then enter into a race, or as many races as you like. So you can, if you click on the HTML, go to race, and that will come up with, whoops. Can you see the race screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be a
So there you are. I've already entered, but when you first click on that link, you'll have a selection of the 4 boats. You can't sail on 4 boats at once. So you click which class you want to sail in, and then that'll take you into the race. And then on the right-hand panel, we have a number of information dialog boxes. If I can just bring this out a bit, so that's the entries at the moment. We have 344 entries at the moment. People are out. Some, as I noticed, you've completed the course and are parked in the Royal Bermuda Marina at the moment.
Yeah, that's me. I'm there for a dark and stormy. I'm gonna head back tomorrow.
Okay. Before the race starts, everyone you're quite entitled to get out on the course and practice, get the feel of the interface. Don't worry about having to race back to the start for the gun to go. Exactly 1 hour before the race starts, the server will tow back all yachts to the starting point.
Great.
And
so, Rob,
within that hour,
can you zoom in on the start area for us so that people can get a good idea of what it looks like?
Yep. Starting off Castle Hill.
Great.
There's a mark of the course, the red gong 4. You must leave that to port, so you have to go west of it.
Right.
If you miss a mark, you have to go back and round it correctly. Otherwise, your ranking will just drop off rapidly as everyone else passes you. At the other end of the course, we have the traditional marks. Let's see. Yeah, Kitchen Shoals and Mills Breaker Boy. And then the finish line is where it would be in the real race.
So
Only
when
we
it
had
comes
to make
finishing-
it perpendicular to the course.
So when it comes to
Sorry?
finishing, Rob, do you have to hit the center dot in the middle of the finish line, or do you just need to
No,
go
anywhere between the 2 pins.
Right.
And
Okay.
the server will stop you on the line.
Right.
And you'll get a message up in the top left corner saying your whatever your boat name is has finished the race.
Great.
And then you can check your ranking here, and you can sort the rankings by boat class. So that's just sorted each one into different class. It's as simple as that.
And we don't
The
need to
other
worry about
thing-
any reefs.
No. If there's anything that's brown and you hit that, the boat will stop. We call that stopping for a barbecue. But fortunately, in virtual online races, there's no damage to the boat, and you can just quickly get off the reef and keep on sailing again.
Just damage to someone's
Although
ego,
there is a
possibly.
bit of a performance hit that you'll have to endure for a few minutes.
Right. Okay. Well, that all looks good. Do you have anything else to add about the game?
The best thing is to back on the home page, read the manual.
Read the manual.
Yep. So we've got the manual in 4 different languages there, and it's not a long and detailed thing, but it's very concise, and it'll get you up and running very quickly.
Great. So we've had a question since the last starboard portal that we had and this one, and some people were asking how they could team play or how they could share the navigating skills amongst their regular boat crew that would have been sailing to Bermuda tomorrow.
Yep.
Is that something that is easy to do?
All you do is share your boat name and your password with your crew.
Right.
It's the boat that is registered, not the person in this case.
Right. Okay. And also just come in on the chat is somebody, and we probably should have gone over this in a little bit more detail. How can you describe the procedure for starting, specifically what's going to happen and what the skippers need to do prior to 1700 UTC tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. As I said, 1 hour before start, the server will tow all boats back to the starting point. In that 1 hour before the race, you can set courses, you can experiment, and you can hit the button and see where your course would take you, but you won't actually start
Right.
until the start time. So it gives you an opportunity to test a few different angles. the last, you can set a course, or you can set you can set a course either by clicking on the course, and then the last command that you enter will be the one that fires when the race starts.
Right. Do you want to just show that on the screen? Just
Yep.
to give a basic idea of how one just sets a general course.
That's in the dialog box in the right-hand panel. It's helm wheel. This is the interface. Let's say we want to head off at 30 degrees compass course. You just enter that there, or you set a true wind angle, and then you just set course.
Right. So relatively easy.
Easy.
Great.
And
Okay.
also, if you want to going to be away from the computer for a while and you want to set change courses while you're away, the delay command box here, you can say in 2 hours time, I'll change course to 140 degrees. Click on the delay, set command, and then in the delay command, you'll see a delay command ready and waiting to be fired in 2 hours time.
Great.
And you can have a whole stream of delayed commands there, whatever your router or your brain tells you to do.
Right. Perfect. So obviously the object is to get to the island as quickly as possible, and so we will be having a prize giving as well. And obviously to register for the prizes, we're asking that competitors go to the bermudarace.com page and register their details there. So they would be entering their boat name and their username and registering with us. That was a great overview, Rob. Don't want to cut you short, but we're going to have a couple other questions probably coming in.
Summers, yeah, a couple of questions have come in. One from Nelson Garces. He asked, how do you drive the boat? And is that something that we can show or demonstrate in some capacity here?
Yeah, I think Rob kind of went through that when he was sending commands to the boat. I could possibly share my screen and just jump right into my boat and do it live if nobody else, objects to that idea. I'm currently at the yacht club, so let me just go ahead and share my screen. So I'm currently having a barbecue at the yacht club, as they would say online. And if I wanted to just steer the boat, obviously it's pointed at into the wind right now. That's how the boat stops. So if I wanted to go across the harbor, I would set that course very simply like that and go up into it creates all the numbers for you, and then set boat course. And then from what I understand, the server is going to chug away a little bit and it's going to update my course. And then it's going to show me sailing off in that direction. And quickly, just to show people, this is your predicted line. So I just set a course over the ground line. In an hour's time, if there was no land there, I would be in this position here. But of course, I'm going to barbecue on the other side of the harbor if I don't tack. So an easy way to tack, my true wind angle is quite close there, is to put it in a negative number and hit tack. And now the boat is going to slowly go through the wind. and head off in the other direction. And I'll eventually end up probably down by the old Hamilton Princess. So.
Summers, a follow-up question too, and you may have just demonstrated that, but using the steer button specifically, how to use that, how to steer using the actual functionality of that button itself. Again, you may have covered that just now, but there was some follow-up questions about that.
And I'll just say, Summers, your dialogue box is covered by our pictures, so if you can pull it out,
sorry about that.
so people can see what you do.
How's that?
We still can't see it.
You can minimize your own.
Oh yeah, it might be on your screen, Jay.
It's on your screen.
I don't know if other people can see it though. That's my question.
I can see it clearly. Yeah.
Okay.
While we're working on that, can somebody confirm which WX model will be used in the race? That was another question from Edward.
Yeah.
GFS.
Rob?
Yeah,
It's
going to be GFS.
Right, it's the NOAA GFS model with half-degree resolution.
Yep.
So just if people are watching, I'm just steering around the harbor here and using the steer button. If you click the steer button, and then you can pick a course where you want the boat to turn, and then click there. And then you send the command by clicking the set boat course number button. And then the next time the boat will change and we'll start going down that course. So relatively quickly, you can manage where your boat's going. Right. Of course, the better you get at it, you can probably just do it by looking at the numbers and as such.
Hey, Rob, can I ask a question? Changing between people. You share your username and password with somebody else, but do you log off first, or do they log on and then you log off, or how does that work? Because two people can't do it at the same time, as I understand.
Yes, but you'd have to log off if someone else in a different location is going to take over, and then they would log in.
Got it.
So that they have full control of the boat.
I just have another question, if I could. Could you talk about the two different clients, the Flash and the HTML5? I've been using the HTML5 because that's the newer one, and I noticed that the banner ad for the Sail Online Yacht Club covers up the gribs. I mean, not the gribs, the polars. I didn't know if there was a way to eliminate that.
Oh.
I joined the SYC in the hope that would make it disappear, but it didn't. And I'd encourage anybody listening to support Sail Online Yacht Club with a $35 a year membership.
So, Rob, do you want me to
not for
just show the
profit,
two
and it's a
different
great
clients?
system.
While I'm sharing the screen, do you want me just to show the two different clients?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, so this client that's currently being shown right now is the HTML5 client. And you would get to that by clicking the new HTML client button to get into the race. If you wanted to go to the old Flash version of the race, you'd, on some browser, would have to allow Flash to run. And this is what that client looks like. Pretty much exactly the same. Relatively no different, the functionality is all the same. So as you can see, I'm still sailing out the harbor. And the functionality of steering is the same. So if we wanted to tack or change course, jibe, it's calling for a jibe, not a tack. Sending that command, and eventually I will turn around and go the other way.
think while we watch, we've got a question from a viewer, Stephen Ben. Stephen, thanks for watching. What are the times the current weather will be updated?
Okay, well, we're going to get to that. If there are no other questions on the actual control of the game, which we've also covered in the previous US Sailing webinar, which is available online at the virtual Newport Bermuda race page, which is here. You get to it by going to bermudarace.com. And if we go there, I can show you online race button on the left. And it will bring you to the page that goes over the different types of boats, how to register, which I think we've gone through already. And of course, the most important thing, well, the second most important thing is looking at all the different types of boats. And we want to thank these boat sponsors, Deller and X Yachts and Italia and Sunfast and the yards, McMichael Yacht Yards and brokers for sponsoring the online race. The most important thing to do is to register on this site, your skipper's name, email for the communications going forward, and importantly, what your Sail Online username is. That's my name, and what division you've signed up for. This will enter you in for the prize packs, and we were happy to have Goslings come on board and offer some good prize packs for first through third in each division. So there's some good things on the line. So if we look, we can see there's only 233 entries with the bermudarace.com registration. And of course, Rob has said that there's 344 people registered within the race. So there's a good number of people out there that will miss out on prizes if they end up coming first, second, or third in their division. So I would encourage people to sign up. So with that being said, it is time to bring in Frank Bohlen, who is going to give us a little bit of an overview of what to expect tomorrow at race time and on our way to Bermuda weather-wise. Frank?
Thanks, Silver. Well, I'm reminded of our friend W.C. Field and his supposed tombstone statement about, on the whole, I'd rather be somewhere else. For us, I think on the whole, we'd rather be sitting in Newport right now with Joe Sinkowitz on my sleeve and getting ready to give the skipper's meeting and go off for a sail tomorrow. But we'll do what we can do. I start out here. I put this up just so you know who's talking. I hope you can see that I've shown you a sea surface temperature composite of the Rumline region. If we were starting out in Newport, you'd see that from me. It's important to realize that in this race, this virtual race, Sail Online, there are no currents. So you only have to worry about the wind. So what's Bohlen putting this thing up for? He's putting it up to remind you that you have a stream out there and to give you some idea of where it is and the characteristics of the stream. Because in addition to currents, the Gulf Stream is a weather breeder. So depending on the systems that we see coming across, the so-called synoptic scale features, high and low pressure systems with their warm and cold fronts and the like, you might expect to see some rather rapid changes in weather in the vicinity of the stream. Those of you that have some experience with this know that. The weather forecasts are going to be updated by NOAA as per the standard NOAA protocols 4 times a day, every 6 hours. I understand that they're being fed into the program, the online race program, at a very high rate. So if you want to update stuff at the moment on the model, you're able to do that. But you're also going to recognize that every 6 hours, you're working with new modeled product. And if you start out we're used to sailing in on boats that have mean speeds on the order of 5 knots or so. If all of a sudden you have to jump over 10 or 20 miles because that's where the optimum route goes now, that may not be simply realized. So for planning purposes, it's good to keep an eye on where the stream is. Now, Bohlen, getting ready to go off on a race like this or a longer cruise, would go over, I gotta go back, I'm afraid. The slides aren't advancing here. So let me stop the share and start the share again. Let me drop back one. Okay. If I was starting out on the race, one of the first things I do is take a look at the big picture. And the big picture for me starts out with the 500 millibar surface, the characteristics up at 18,000 feet. And you can see here, if you can see my cursor, this is the 24-hour 500 millibar forecast. And it shows you that the center of the system aloft, the 5640 line, hope you can see the cursor, that's sort of the mean location of the barrier that north of which we're going to see significant storm tracks, and to the south, generally more easygoing, less energetic systems. Everything here is pretty much zonal, east-west, no great dips or hollows in it, ridges or troughs. So nothing really showing in the way of making up much weather for 24 hours. One feature that's interesting to take a look at, this low over here indicated 577. That's 5,770 meters above the surface, is really cut off from the system up here. We have a cutoff low in the vicinity of the Chesapeake, mid-Atlantic. And the cutoff low features, the reason you care about them, they are difficult to forecast. They tend to dither. Most systems move west to east, right along the storm track, that 5640 line. But cutoff systems like that low over the mid-Atlantics generally behave on their own. They're like a spinning top. So this guy bears a little watching. And keep in mind, as you're looking at the forecast, sometimes they may not be quite as accurate as we'd like them to be because of. I'm getting this information down the bottom. The website is the Ocean Prediction Center. Okay, that's a very valuable location. All of you should know about it. We'd like to look at these weather maps before we look at the digital data, the so-called RIB files. Okay, give an idea of what's going on large scale. Okay. From the 500 millibar, let's go down to the surface. Here's the 24-hour forecast at the surface. Sorry about that. And you can see we still have that low sort of in the middle of the screen. I have lost the cursor here. Hang on one second. That's why it's nice to have a red pointer sitting out here. Okay, here's your low, mid-Atlantic, and a number of small lows. There's something down around Bermuda as well showing. Didn't show up much on the upper level, so this is probably not all that intense, but it could be another cutoff feature. To make a long story short, the layman looking at this can't tell very much about this. There's a big high mid-Atlantic. This is the Bermuda Azores high sitting out here. Clockwise winds, counterclockwise clockwise winds around the high, counterclockwise around the lows. So you got yourself a nice clockwise around this high out here, and things are sort of a dither inshore. Let's go out to 72, and things have really quieted out. The low that we were seeing mid-Atlantic, not showing up much of anything. It may have merged with the low up over the Maritimes. The low over Bermuda, here's Bermuda 60, here's Bermuda right about in here, okay, is still present. So there's a low counterclockwise rotation around the low sitting out here. And there's a high here, clockwise here. Well, that's kind of a dither right now. Okay, we're looking at the big picture. We don't see any major fronts coming across that Gulf Stream feature. So things might be a little bit less than energetic. Things might be a little bit less than well-defined over the next 3 to 4 days. One other thing, again, I get all this from the Ocean Prediction Center. Besides the graphics, the Ocean Prediction Center site for the Atlantic give you text forecasts. And it's always good to start out with a read of the synopsis. There's the synopsis for the New England waters. I just got this. High pressure over the southern waters today will pass southeast of the area tonight, then gradually weaken southeast of the region Thursday night into Sunday. Hence the comment about rather the dithering conditions. Weak low pressure currently inland to the southwest of the area will dissipate today. So not much worry about that low that's inland, not the one that was mid-Atlantic, one that's further west. Cold front will approach the area from the north Friday and Friday night, stall north of the water Saturday and Saturday night. So nothing coming down across the stream, and then lift north of the region as a warm front Sunday and Sunday night. Here's the famous statement. A weak, complex, low-pressure system will approach the area from the south Sunday and Sunday night, pass southeast and east of the waters Monday and Monday night. That could affect us offshore. Okay, so let's take a look for another second. So here I am now on Predict Wind. And this is the GFS model, Predict Wind. And down the bottom, I hope you can see the cursor. This is Thursday. So let's slide our cursor along until we get on the lower right-hand side. You'll see Friday, June 19th at something like 1700 GMT, Zulu. That's about your start time. And what you're looking at on the start, if you look at the little green dot right in the middle there, the green dot is supposed to be Block Island. But you can see here we are about 10 or 11 knots from the southwest, 228, okay? It looks like we can zoom in a little bit, if we care to. That you ought to get out nearly to the edge of the shelf southwest before, here we're now looking, don't forget, we're looking at this as of 1 hour, 1700 tomorrow. If we slide out a little bit, say it'll take you 2-3 hours, let's say we'll take it to 1900, 2000, something like that. You can see you got southwesterly winds out. Here we are at 39. We started at 41. So you got 2 degrees, that's 120 miles or so. So for the first day or so, it looks like the forecast you have available to you right now, Thursday afternoon, would tell you that you probably have a good day or more of southwesterly winds. But continuing, let's go out to Sunday, carry it along to Sunday, Monday. Here's Sunday at 1700. And still southwesterly, and it looking as you're getting, presumably you're out now beyond the 120 or so, particularly in that X boat. You're showing 8 knots, 7 knots, 200, 210, okay? You're getting, that's going around more south. You were more southwest up here, 230 to 240. You're getting down into here. It's showing, the model right now is showing you're more like 200, 220. Okay, Sunday. Let me go back out. Okay, and don't forget this is Bermuda down here, down the bottom. Okay, so here we are Sunday, and let's say you're in this region, pretty light air, sort of dithering, and in fact, you got Winds going one way up here and winds going another way down here. So you can expect to see quite a collection of wind directions in this region. Very light air. We're out at somewhere in the vicinity of 39, 50, 40 degrees. Okay, out here. All right, maybe 5 knots of wind in the middle. Pretty light air going. If the things were to stay as they are, as we get down into through Sunday, we're now into Sunday, Monday. That's Sunday at 17. And that was Saturday we're looking at. Here's that low has gotten itself sort of wound up down in the vicinity of Bermuda at this point. So you're going to be seeing a wind shift from the southwest to the northwest as you're proceeding down that track. And that low hangs around, starts to move north and east. Don't forget where Bermuda is. Let me see if I can zoom in for you a little bit. See if I can find it. Here's Bermuda. Okay, let me drag it over for you. And so here you are Sunday, Monday in Bermuda. If you were down there anything like, there's Sunday. Looks like the wind's gone around west in Bermuda again by Monday. Okay, on the order of 8 knots, not very strong. On the something like 260, 270 due west. And as we come out here to Tuesday, Wednesday, good time for your smaller boats to get in. Tuesday, Wednesday, still hanging west down there, but light. 8 knots. That's what this guy is showing you for the conditions over the next few days. Now, mind you, that's going to be updated every 6 hours. And as I said at the outset, a combination of lack of steering and clear control over what's going on longshore, what comes off land and where it goes and what it does, and the presence of the stream might give you some conditions that differ substantially from this. Be well advised to keep a close eye on the weather forecast during the race.
Great.
That's all
Thanks,
I have.
Frank.
Thank you.
So you're predicting a slow race.
I'm predicting a slow race right now.
We'll all have to pack more water, more drinks.
That's the
Great.
beauty of the
Beauty.
virtual, right?
Yeah. Well, no records are going to be set, but all right. I just want to go back and just cover our sponsors a little bit more for bringing this together for us. Just to go through boat sponsors. I'm just going to share my screen again, and it might help people to see the boats and to make a decision on what type of what division they want to be in. So here we have the Delaware 46 chosen boat for traditionally the biggest division in our on-water race, which is the iconic St. David's Lighthouse Trophy. Boats in this division are usually steered by amateurs only, and most range from 35 to 50 feet. So the Delaware 46, built in Germany, is a Jodelbrolic cruiser racer with a fast hull shape and a big rig. Racers will be pushing 8 to 10 knots when the breeze comes up, possibly more. But as we see with the forecast from Frank, we may not see more. She's sponsored in this division for this race by Michael Yacht Yards and Brokers based on Long Island Sound and in Newport, and we thank them. And moving on to the XP55, which is the largest boat in the fleet from Denmark. It's the biggest and fastest boat racing online this race, and so it was naturally chosen as the boat for the Gibbs Hill Lighthouse, which features the fastest boats in the on-water race, normally with professional crews. Designed by Niels Jepsen XB has a large sail plan, is very fast upwind and close reaching, particularly in light to medium air. This makes her an ideal Bermuda race boat, given the race's typical winds. She's sponsored for this race by X Yachts North America and Bob Rogers Yacht Sales in Connecticut, and we thank them. That's, as a side note, what I'm sailing to Bermuda on. And here we have the, at 33 feet, the Jeanneau Sunfast 3300. It's the smallest boat in our online race, but that's why she's the boat selected. But it's not why she's the boat selected for our double-handed division. While Jeanneau's cruising line has a huge following worldwide, the Sunfast brand has become well known for great short-handed sailing boats, and the water ballasted 3300, launched last year in 2019, fits the mold well. Designed by Daniel Andrieu and Guillaume Verdier, the boat has a powerful, well-balanced shape with two unique concave hull sections on the center line. The forward one helps change trim in light air, and the after one promotes planing in a breeze. The boat is sponsored for this race by Jeanneau North America. Thank you very much to them. And finally, in our Finisterre division, the new 50-foot Italia 14.98 is a Maurizio Casuti luxury performance cruiser chosen for the Bermuda Race's growing Finisterre division, which is for cruising boats, which typically sees a range from 40 to 65 feet in length. The VPPs for this latest model from Italia Yachts show a remarkably close-winded boat that will be reaching and running at 10 to 12 knots given a good breeze. The boat is so new that hull number one won't actually launch until August, later this year. So you're taking it out for a test drive, so to speak. The 14.98 is sponsored for this race by Italia Yachts US, Representative David Walters Yachts, which has 5 offices from Maine to Florida and in California. And I want to thank those sponsors. And of course, just to remind everybody that Gosling's is sponsoring the prize pack. And if you happen to get to Bermuda first, in the real world, you actually get met with one of these trays of Dark and Stormies. And trust me, they go down real well. We've had a question from the chat area, and I'm going to get Rob to answer this question. It has to do with how and why would a user in the race want to set up a list, a boat list. Rob, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep, sure. I'll just bring up, where are we? Can you see the race page?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Across the top in the right-hand panel, you've got various tabs here. In the middle is the ranking. Down the bottom, you'll see a couple of more tabs that you can create lists. A group, you can have group of boats within a certain distance of you, or ranked by country. I'll just give an example of clicking on country. I'll go and get all my Aussie mates, add that to the list, and I have to give it a name first, and then create list. So there I've got all the Aussies in the race. If I want to have a look at, say, people who are in my club, I click a boat list, call it Royal Melbourne Yacht Squadron. Then I just go through. Obviously they're going to be Aussie, so I can sort into Aussies and then go through and pick individual boats, add them to the list. There's a few there. I've missed a few, but just an example. So you can put as many as you like in there. Create list, and there you are. With 400 boats on the course, it could look a bit crowded on the screen. So Actually, I'll move that. There's a little box up here on the top right-hand corner. If I click on that, the only boats I'll see on the client screen are the boats in my list. But if I go back to the Aussies, click on there, that creates the list. If I want to see everyone, I just unclick everything.
So that's a good way to declutter the race screen a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I'll just mention that on the extreme right, if you go into settings, I always have the boat size. Where are we? You can get VMC, longitude, latitude in your instrument panel across the bottom, and boat scale. I always have it down to minimum so that they're smaller and it gives it a better perspective.
Right.
And then just close that, save it and close it. Hang on. There. So it's as simple as that in creating lists and decluttering the screen.
Great. Perfect. Thanks, Rob. I don't think we're, Jake, was there any other questions from the chat that we need to cover?
I don't believe so, Summers. I believe that was the last one we have there. So, folks, if you have some questions as we look to wrap up here sometime soon, if you have other questions, please put them in the YouTube chat. But as indicated throughout this session, still have an opportunity to participate. So if you're watching and you're curious, but you haven't registered yet, that opportunity still presents itself. Correct, Jay?
Yes.
Great. So Bermuda race.
Unmute myself. Yep, it does. There's still time. There's a question, how to set a DC. Oh, was that covered? Okay.
Delayed course?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we covered that.
Covered.
Yeah.
It's covered.
But thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jake, and the team from US Sailing. This was a terrific way to host the captain's meeting for the online Newport Bermuda race. And we hope people sign up and join us on a virtual adventure. I did a practice race. I've been doing it for a couple of days, and it actually is pretty fun. So I hope everybody has a great time and enjoys our race.
Great.
Well, thank you so much, Jay, Summers, Rob, Frank, everybody associated with Newport Bermuda race, this special online version. This is really cool. This is going to be fun. Folks, good luck tomorrow and through the weekend. Again, if you haven't signed up yet, go to bermudarace.com, I believe, /online race /. Check it out. There's plenty of time for you to register, assemble your team, have fun with it. Should be an exciting day tomorrow on Friday and then through the weekend. So again, if you're enjoying the Starboard Portal, please support our efforts to build a community of active and engaged sailors by purchasing or renewing a U.S. Sailing membership. We have a lot of great content coming up on the schedule, and thanks to U.S. Sailing members, we're able to adapt and evolve to better serve sailors with content like this. Visit us at mem.ussailing.org to join or renew your U.S. Sailing membership today. Guys,
Jake,
great job today. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
If you go to bermudarace.com and you're not sure how to get to the online race, at the top, there's a banner that says you can still race online. You click on that and it'll take you to the online page.
Right, and check out the YouTube chat. If you're watching online, I did put a link in there for you to go in, click on that, learn more about the race, sign up, and good luck to you and your teams over the weekend. Have fun with it.
Yeah, and I
Thanks,
just wanna,
team. Thanks, everybody.
Just want to say one
Thanks very
last
much.
thing for those people that do take part, and this Rob would probably say this is true. The people on Sail Online are extremely friendly. There's a chat tab. If you put any question in there, one of the regulars will step in and will guide you the right way, provide great advice. And it was a great reason why we chose Sail Online as partners for this. And I just want to thank them. And if you encourage people to sign up, as Jay did, to their yacht club, Sail Online Yacht Club, the money goes to support their nonprofit efforts. So,
And
thank you very much.
the online chat and support will not get you disqualified for outside assistance.
No.
Good point. Noted. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for this. This has been fun. Good luck over the weekend. You're watching the Starboard Portal. Thanks so much, and take care.
Thanks.
Thanks very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
Stay well. Stay well.